space is oh, there we go. So we're always going to record. That's the first thing. We're always going to record these videos. I also want you to know in that same sentence, this is a safe space. These videos do not go online. They do not go to everybody. These videos only go to people who are in the program. So I want you to be aware of that. Other people in the program will be hearing them if they're listening, but not anybody else that is not in the program. So that's a disclosure on that. Again, it's a safe space. This is not going out to the public. This is our place to chat with each other. This is our place to talk about things. This is where, you can really dig deep. I encourage you to try to get all the calls that you can, for numerous reasons. One, the more that you participate, the more that you succeed. Honestly, like the more you chat, participate, get involved, no question is stupid. So that's another thing. Please, please, please ask your questions because everybody is different. And I can guarantee you someone else is thinking about your question, but may not be saying it. So, or that may trigger something to somebody else. Like, oh, I did that. Or, I can help you with that, or, oh my gosh, I'm feeling that way. I didn't realize it. So questions are always encouraged, always good. We never want you to feel, like, oh my God, that was dumb. I don't want to talk about that. If you're not comfortable asking a question on the chat or on the Facebook board, you can always email us. The Facebook board is going to be the quickest place for you to get an answer. Between the four of us, it's going to be the quickest place for you to ask a question if it's not on the call to get an answer. What we do encourage you is if it's a question about a product, there are so many products out there and every day we find a new product. Please post the front and the back label. So it may be, I just saw today Primal Kitchen I'm a big fan of Primal Kitchen and I didn't look at the ingredients yet. I'm going to assume they're good, but they came out with a whip dressing, like a old school Miracle Whip. So I want to go in and I want to look at the ingredients. So if you find something in the store and you're like, that looks interesting, post the front, post the nutrition label and the ingredients. Just take a quick snapshot and post it up. Okay. That's how we're going to also teach you how to read your labels. So by you posting this up, other people and yourself are going to understand, like you're in the store. Okay. I know that this oil is not good in here. And I'm looking at this on the label. Gosh, I always looked at calories, but you know what? Now I'm looking at my carbs and fiber, right? So we're going to sort of teach you how to read a food label, teach you what ingredients should be looking for and not looking for. So you can find the best ingredients, the best foods for you that work in your body. So I will start with that. I'm going to go through a few basic housekeeping items first, and then we'll get into really what to expect in the next coming week. So you're here, you should be on the Facebook page if you're a member of Facebook. If you are not, let me know. I can post the link and we'll get you in there immediately. That is sort of where all the chit chat occurs during the week. One of us is constantly on that board. So one of us will be answering your questions. It's very rare. It goes a few hours without a question being answered. If for some reason you post something up and you don't get an answer in a couple hours, just repost it or just, reply to it. So it hits the top. Sometimes Facebook, things can get a little buried. So we're hoping that doesn't happen. We do try to check it a lot. So Facebook board, that's your number one. There's also an app called Whisk, WHISK. You should have gotten all the instructions on Whisk in your intro emails. That is our recipe hub. So I'm going to share my screen and explain Whisk to you quickly. I go through this super quick because you guys aren't dumb and I just like to sometimes go through this. Okay. You're gonna have to ignore my million tabs that are open. Okay. So this is what Whisk looks like from the computer side of everything. Can you guys see that? Great. Okay. So this is what it looks like from the computer side. You can also pull it up on your app. I love the app. And I will show you why. Second here. Oh, wait. In my phone, I'm not on that one yet. So I'm just going to pull up the accountability one. All right. So you will see everything in, this is all clean cut approved recipes, super easy to scroll through. It's easy to search. What I love about the app is that on the bottom right, it says lists. You can click lists and you can create a shopping list. So what you could, what you could do is go to a recipe. You can click shopping list in that recipe and it'll pop everything in your shopping list for you already. Another great thing that you can do with the recipes in Whisk, and I want you guys to play around with this. I'm just going to pull up the roasted asparagus basil salad. You can change the serving sizes. So in the app, you'll see over here, it's very easy to follow serving sizes. It's set for 4 servings. You can click up, you can click down, and it will automatically change the amount you need for the recipe. So I really like that. That's really cool. You can create a grocery list with that. You can also get deeper in the Whisk app and create menu guides for yourself during the week. So play around with that. Any questions, please feel free to post them up. If you're having any problems downloading, getting into Whisk, getting into anything, technical issues, please tag Denise on the board. Denise Thompson is our tech guru. We call her, she holds the glue together for our website, for all our digital stuff. And she can help us out with any issues that you're having. So this is what you're going to see for our spring program. So every week we're going to add recipes. Okay. So actually you guys are in luck if you're just joining. This is all our recipes for our Kickstart and our spring program. So there's a lot of good recipes in here. So I will, let's see, Tuscan style shrimp right here is one of my favorite recipes ever. I make it weekly. So you'll see Tuscan style shrimp there, right? You can change the ingredients for, say I'm making 6, it'll see it's automatically changing the ingredients for you. Very cool. Okay. I want you to take note of this health score. Okay. Please do not obsess over the health score. Now I'm going to explain why, because this is a computer algorithm that is looking at a specific number of carbs and proteins and that is not for everybody. Okay. It's looking at what sodium should be for the day, but it's looking at, like some old school stuff. It's also looking at like things that we're not looking at in this program. So please take it with a grain of salt. Don't freak out. We're going to get into the glycemic index of low and glycemic load here in the program. That's going to be a week 2 to 3 education. And when this is going to be more important than what's happening up here. So don't stress out about that. Okay. All right. So super easy. Any questions on that? You can also save it. You click the little save button and it'll save in your Whisk under your favorite recipes, which is very nice as well. So communities, and you will click on your now with these, every week is going to build upon each other. So every week we are going to be adding recipes. So if you find a recipe you love in week 1 or week 2, right? Let's say you decide these orange chicken meatballs are really good too. Say you really like these orange chicken meatballs, save it. You can have it in week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and forever. Okay. Just because it's posted in week 1 doesn't mean you can only have it in week 1. The goal of the program is for you to find your specific go-to foods. So what I may love, Michelle may not love. And what I may be a good go-to for me in the morning may not work for her because it may not keep her full, but it keeps me full. So that is why every cookie cutter program, or you pull something off the internet and say you have to follow this, may not work for everybody, or it may work short-term because it is not sustainable long-term. So I want you to sort of keep that in the back of your mind. I know most people coming in here are used to counting calories, counting this, counting this. We're going to use that as a guide. We're going to go by portion sizes, and we're going to teach you about why healthy fats are important, why your complex carbohydrates and your earth's carbs are important, but in moderation. We're going to teach you about sugars, about carbohydrates. So instead of looking at total calories, it will explain why we don't look at total calories all the time, because not all calories are created equal. We're going to find what works for you in your body. Do you have anything?
Just a quick stop on what Lori said, that we want you to customize what you like to eat, because if you're not looking forward to what you're eating, then you're not going to stick with this program. So if you can't stand fish, like, we are never going to ask you to put fish in your mouth. Like, that doesn't make sense. So if there is a particular recipe, and I know I said this in the beginning as well, but for anybody who jumped on since, for the sake of the recording, if you have allergies, If you have foods that you just don't like that are in a certain recipe and you want to know an acceptable substitute, just either post it up on the Facebook board, send me a message. I can give you tips and tricks on how to alter your recipes. If you are vegetarian or vegan, then let us know, because we can customize this program for you. So this is truly for everyone, for all dietary needs. Just let us know what it is that you're working with.
Yep. And there are a ton of vegan and vegetarian recipes in Whisk as well. So please don't ever stress about that. Michelle hit the nail on the head with that. Okay. There was something else I was going to say about that. Now I just lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. I think she probably hit it. Yeah. So again, everything is customizable. So save the ones you like. We can always tweak something out. Always. Subbing protein, subbing different veggies, subbing different foods. Okay. So this is your portal. You should also have access to this. You can also download an app on this and use it on your phone as well. All those instructions were sent to you. Again, any questions, just reach out. We're happy to help you. So this is what it's going to look like. So your call schedule is all here. So this is a night call. We're going to do most of the other calls during the day. If you cannot make them, they will be recorded, as I said. Try to block off some time, even if you're working and it's a lunch break, or if you really can't make it. We may switch some tonight, but for the most part, you know, we unfortunately can't, what's going on here? Can't make everybody, you know, unfortunately not everyone's gonna be able to make every call. What is going on? There we go. So, you know, we're going to do our best to try to get everybody on the calls. All right. So we just did a Kickstart program. So I'm going to show you an example of our spring cleaning program. You guys have access to this, can start it immediately. I'm going to show you what a menu guide looks like. Let me scroll down. Hold on, they moved it. Hold on. No. Oh, there we go.
I think it was right there. Yeah.
Yeah, they moved it. It used to be on the bottom. So under down, so you can read it here. I'm going to pull up the downloads one. So what it looks like. So you're going to pull up downloads right there. Okay. So each week you're going to get a menu guide. There's going to be a little blurb in there teaching about every week. You're more than welcome to look at this and play with this over the weekend. We're going to post up week 1 very soon. So this is our spring cleaning week 1. So what we like you to do is we give you options. Okay. If there's something not on here that you want to eat, say you want to eat a half an avocado, 2 eggs and a cauliflower flat, go for it. That's what works for you. But let's just say I'm going to make some egg cups and I want 2 clean cut egg cups for the morning. Well, look at that. You click on it, brings you right to the recipe in Whisk. So it's super easy. All right. Let me go back. Where'd it go? That's not what I need. I'll just pull it back up. This is why I have a billion tabs open, because I am not super. So you're going to sub things out. You're going to pick one that you like. All right. For snacks, you're going to have a laundry list of snacks by the end of week 6. If you have a snack that you normally go to and it's not on here, ask if you like it. If you have a breakfast you normally go to and you're like, I really like this breakfast, ask. Okay. Because it's better to ask, and we may modify something small in that. Okay. You may say, I have a piece of toast with eggs every morning. Well, we're going to give you maybe a better option for that piece of toast in the beginning that has a little bit higher fiber in it. Or we're going to make you a clean cut English muffin, or you're going to use a cauliflower flat or something different. Okay. So there's always options. So always ask. Snacks, lunch is the same thing. These are a lot of our go-tos. These are a lot of our safe foods. You'll see gluten-free, vegan, that kind of thing. Okay. Or vegetarian. Dinner. These are a lot of our go-to dinners. Again, just because it's on here doesn't mean that's the only thing you can have. These are like good starters. If you find something else you like, or if there is just something that's a go-to that you're like, I really like this, like, that's okay. Post it up. We'll help you out with it. Lots of good sides. Okay. And then we always post up some of our favorite snacks and our go-tos. Most of these you can buy in the store. We just post to Amazon just so it's easy for you guys to see everything. All right. Is there any questions on the menu guide?
And know that just because something says breakfast, that doesn't mean that you have to have it at breakfast time. So if you are, running super late and things are just crazy and you want to make yourself a couple of scrambled eggs and a half of avocado for dinner, like that's okay. If you want to have your leftover egg roll in a bowl and take it, from dinner the night before and take it with you to work for lunch, like even though that's not listed as a lunch item, that's okay. So it truly is customizable to what you need.
Right. So you immediately have access to this spring cleaning program. You can go through this and sort of like read here, but week 1, I will be posting up very, very shortly. I have to make it live. So there's going to be a few more documents in your course introduction about us, our team, just so you have that, how the program works and what to expect, foods you can have on week 1 and beyond. And there's always going to be a weekly call here. The Zoom link's always going to be the same. And under here, I will post all the recordings. So you'll see week 1 recording, week 2 recording, week 3 recording. If you miss it, or if you want to listen back, it's always there. So that is the portal. Under the portal each week, our spring cleaning was just more of like a kickstart. Each week, you're going to have your menu guides, your recipe link, and then you're going to have your weekly education. So your weekly education is going to consist of week 1 is going to be healthy fats. Why healthy fats are so important, why we shouldn't be scared of them, because let's face it, most of us grew up in a fat-free world and we were brought up on fat is bad. So we're going to teach you the good fats you can have. We're going to teach you why all calories are not created equal, why it's important, excuse me, to know that and to understand how food works in your body. Week 2, we're going to get into fiber and carbohydrates, why they're so important. We're going to teach you about your insulin tank and why carbohydrates necessarily aren't bad. I'm going to teach you about the United States Society, about how we just overcarb and what carbs are better for you than others, and how you can have a carb that fuels you versus a carb that's going to sugar spike you and crash you. So that's week 2. Week 3 is, what's week 3? Why am I blanking? Is it intermittent fasting? I can tell you really quick. Yeah. Oh, education on your food labels, insulin. Week 4, and you'll see all of this because we update everything here. Understanding carbs, your summary. We're going to get into some intermittent fasting. That is an option. Don't be scared of the word. If you want to try it, that's great. We're going to give it an option. Fasting is free. It is not for everybody, but it is a tool that you can use as one of your go-tos. And I'll explain tools in 1 second. Week 5, we're going to get into digestion and gut health, which is super important. Week 6, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to put it all together. Where does your fat go when you lose it? All that kind of stuff. So going into the tools, at the end of 6 weeks, you're going to have tools for success, long-term success. So the goal of this program is to teach you how to eat healthy, how to eat clean, but also to enjoy the foods you love. Because we know we want to have wine, we want to have pizza, we want to have ice cream, we want to have our treats and cheats that we enjoy. And you should have no guilt having them. However, there's a time and a place for them. So if you're eating pizza Monday, ice cream Tuesday, a bagel on Wednesday, wine Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we got to figure that out, right? But we're going to give you foods that are really good, right? So when you're going through this, doesn't mean that food is bad. Like, they're very flavorful. It's very, very good. You're cooking anyway. And if you're not cooking, there is tons of go-to foods that are going to be completely easy to do. Okay. So for example, the burgers I cooked my kids for dinner tonight came from the Italian deli up the street. That is ground chicken, bruschetta, some feta cheese, and spinach. I know exactly what's in it. I didn't put it together. I bought it at the store, right? You can run up to the deli or your local grocer and you can buy pre-grilled chicken breasts and roasted vegetables. So it's just a different mindset. Instead of stopping at McDonald's, maybe you run into the local grocer, the deli, or Whole Foods or something like that, and you grab some chicken breasts and roasted vegetables instead. Okay, so it's a little bit of a different mindset. You can even do grab and goes at your local Wawa and 7-Eleven. Michelle, did you want to say something?
Well, and also know that, you can still do fast food with your kids. I mean, I go to Chick-fil-A and I get the grilled chicken nuggets, and that's fine. And you can work that into your day. Chipotle is an awesome, quick go through, and I pick my clean cut items for my fajita bowl and I'm ready to go. So like we will also give you those options that you can eat on the go. So if you travel for work, or your kids are, spending in the entire weekend, like at soccer tournaments and volleyball tournaments and lacrosse, and you're on a sideline all day, we've got you. And you can do this. So you're not locked into your kitchen. You're not meal prepping for hours and hours every day. It's easy.
Yeah. And we'll show you too. Michelle is actually fantastic about, her daughter does horse shows, and she's actually fantastic about showing you what she eats through the day at the horse show, how she packs it, that kind of thing. So we do a lot of stuff like that. We'll go live from a grocery store and say, hey, this is what we're bringing to X, Y, and Z. So those are fun things, right? Those are like, wow, I didn't realize that I could go and buy a yogurt with granola in Wawa instead of going in and buying a candy bar and a soda. So it's just a different mindset. There's so many good options out there now, and easy options. So we're going to teach you those as well. Lots of on the go stuff. Because really, honestly, like, who's sitting home 5 nights a week having dinner fully cooked like we did 30 years ago? Right? It's not happening anymore. So we're going to make it easy for you. And there are a lot of kid-friendly meals. I have one of the hardest households on the planet that half like it, half don't. Some likes this, some likes that, some don't. But it's good to introduce your kids to these healthy meals. And you will find some that they like, I promise. So the grab and goes, your meals, we're going to get into water, like in general, why we want you to add things to your water. I want you guys to go either find a water bottle you love, or go buy a new pretty water bottle that you love, and start to fill it up with water and some lemon. And we're going to show you why you need to put some, like, either pink Himalayan salt in your water, or a hydration packet that opens up your cells for hydration. So we'll explain all of this to you. It's actually super exciting to be able to explain this to you guys. And what we don't do is give you all 6 weeks at one time. And the reason is because we want to give you some education and practice it. Give you more education and practice it, more education and practice it. So we're going to do week 1. Oh, I'm like getting some back in here. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay, that's better. So week 1 is your first clean cut tool. Okay. Week 1, we don't like to call it a cleansing week. Look at my dog again. Here. We don't like to call it a cleansing week. I like to call it a reset week. I like to call it a reset week because we're just resetting our body. We're eating real food. We're eating lots of food. We're not starving ourselves. We're putting healthy foods in our body, and we're taking the bad stuff out. So things to expect in week 1. You may get a headache. If you're eating a lot of sugar, you're eating a lot of bad things. Don't be ashamed of it. You may get a headache. And that's just because we're detoxing like anything else. Okay. If you're drinking 3 cans of soda a day and we start to cut you back, you may get a little headache, but we're going to give you options. Drink some tea, drink some coffee. We're going to give you different things that will sort of help curb that. So you may get a headache. You may feel a little bit tired. You may feel a little bit foggy. I can promise you by day 3 or 4, you're going to come out of it. So just hang in. You may not feel anything. You may feel more frustrated because you're just trying to change a new habit. Right? So, and you may feel like, you know what, I'm doing really good. I'm psyched for this. So I want you to psych yourself up. Don't be scared if you're not feeling great. Post up, you're like, I have a headache, help. Right? Like a good thing that I do go to if I get like a sugar headache or anything, I eat a little bit too much sugar. I do a caffeinated iced tea. Like that has a little bit of caffeine in it, helps that headache. There's a lot of different things that we can do. So you may feel a little icky the first couple of days. That's okay. Again, I promise you that will subside. The hardest part is planning. What you in a perfect world, and it's not always going to be perfect. I'd like you to sort of look at your week in advance. If you know you're going out to dinner on Thursday, if you know that you have a lacrosse tournament over the weekend, just sort of think about what you're going to do around that, instead of being like, oh crap, I have a lacrosse tournament tomorrow and I have nothing planned. It's not always going to go the way you want it to go. And the one thing I want you to know about that is please do not beat yourself up if it doesn't go the way you go and throw the towel in and say, screw it, I'm not doing this. This is too hard. Because in an hour later, you can just reset yourself and be like, I'm good. All right. I ate that extra piece of chocolate, or I pounded 5 pieces of pizza. It's done. What are you going to do about it now? Don't feel sorry for yourself. Let's learn from it and move forward. So there's never shaming here. And there is never us telling you to throw the towel in and forget it. You screwed yourself. You didn't screw yourself. We're just going to reset. So week 1 is all about the reset. So let's make it clear. We have a really fun weekend. We go out and we have our pasta and our wine and our bread and our dessert, and we have a really good weekend, right? On Monday, you're going to do week one. Week one is going to be a reset. Okay. And that one day is not going to derail you. That one night you go out is not going to derail you. It's you going out and having all that. And then the next morning you're hungover and you're like, I'm going to get a bacon, egg, and cheese. Then I'm like, maybe I'll have a hair of the dog because I don't feel good. And you keep going, right? And then on Monday you're not prepared and you're like, screw it, I'm just going to have the leftover pizza in the refrigerator. That's when it spirals. When your body is clean and we clean yourself out and you have that one cheat meal, again, that's not going to derail you. And we'll explain that with the education. And you're going to go right back at it. So week one is not only a reset for you right now, week one can be a reset for 2 to 3 days. I use week one a lot after a long weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, totally week one, right? It's resetting your body. So I want you to keep that in mind. Intermittent fasting is going to be another reset tool that we use that may work for you. It may not work for Michelle. It may work for Allison. It may work for Nicole. It may not work for somebody else. So that is a free tool that you could try. When we get into that, we'll talk about that. Believe it or not, another clean cut tool we're going to tell you is to have a big ass cheat. If you are so strict all the time and never have a cheat, your body may get stuck. We've had somebody who was stuck and she went out for ice cream with her kid and lost a pound the next day. Sometimes you got to just shake it up, right? So there's little things that we can do. So the more you, again, as I was talking from the beginning, talk to us about how you're feeling. This is good. This is bad. I'm doing great. I'm not doing really good. We can help you through. You want to piggyback on that at all, Michelle? Are we good?
No, I think that you really hit it. And what I would just encourage each and every one of you to do as you are looking through WISC and you're looking through the menu guides and you're starting to kind of prepare yourself and get psyched up for, this coming week and starting week one, do not treat the rest of this week or this weekend as your last meal that you're ever going to have and have all the cheats. Because all those foods are going to come back and they're not going to come back in 6 weeks. Like they're going to come back in a week. So don't get yourself hyped up of like, this is my last piece of pizza. So now I need to have the entire pie, and with your ice cream sandwiches and, everything else that's going on. So just kind of walk into it calmly, get yourself prepared and know that you can do it, because if I could do it, literally anybody can.
Yeah. And so week one is, I'll tell you right now what week one's going to be. It is going to be super low complex carbohydrate, meaning breads, pastas, that kind of thing. Okay. There's a few different kind of complex. There's a few different kinds of carbohydrates. There is your earth's carbs, your vegetables, your potatoes, that kind of thing. You're going to have some earth's carbs in week one. Okay. Again, pastas, breads, like those kind of carbs that spike you really high and then you crash. We're going to take those out right now. They will come back, I promise. And they will come back in better forms as well, where you're not even going to miss the bad stuff. You will be having like vegetables, that kind of thing, those kind of carbs. And so it's going to be complex carbs, earth's carbs, lots of protein, lots of healthy fat, week one. We're going to try to go really low sugar, and a little bit of honey is okay. If you want a few berries here and there, because it's going to be berry season right now, that's okay. Okay. We are not anti-fruit by any means. Okay. We just want to watch it right now because specifically we are looking to bring our sugar really low. So every time we have fruit, we're going to make sure that we pair it with a protein or a healthy fat. And the reason for that is, let's say I eat a cup of strawberries. Delicious. It's going to be strawberry season soon. We're all going to do it. Can't wait. Just that sugar will spike our insulin a little bit, and then we crash quickly. Okay. If we pair it with a protein or a healthy fat, our body takes longer to digest it. So it keeps your sugar level down because now you're digesting more. So you're going to stay fuller longer and you're not spiking your insulin, which we will get into in detail when we get to that week. So we always want to pair our fruits with a protein or a healthy fat. I would try to stay away from any fruits in the first few days and maybe add some berries back in at the end of the week. If it's a non-negotiable for you, stay with a serving size of that. But we're going to try to keep that low the first couple days just to bring sugars down in your body. Because sometimes you don't realize how much sugar you're having. I'm working actually with a functional nutritionist now on a totally different gut issue that I'm having that we'll get into later. But she's like, I want you to go dairy free for like 6 weeks. So let's see how you feel. I'm like, that's easy. I didn't realize how much dairy I was eating until I really thought about it, like the little stuff, right? Stuff like that. So you probably don't realize how much you're having until you really focus on it a little bit. So we're going to try to bring that down, to bring the sugar in your body down a little bit, cleanse a little bit, and then we're going to balance the sugar. We're going to balance the carbohydrates. So really quickly, we have a cup that's spilling over of sugar and carbohydrates. We want to empty the cup a little bit, and then we're going to keep it balanced. And then that visual will come back in week 2 for you. So we're going to be super low sugar. We're going to eat a lot of protein, a lot of veggies, a lot of healthy fats in week 1. And then we're going to slowly add stuff back in. We're going to add high fiber back in. We're going to add some fruits back in. We're going to add those things that you love back in. If you are a major wine person, anybody a major wine person here? Okay. Yeah, I am. But I'm learning actually to cut it back a little bit, and sub out with like a vodka or a tequila, something like that. And I'm actually, my body's feeling much better. Again, and that's the sugar. So again, you can have your wine. We're just going to balance it. Okay. If you're going on Thursday this week and you're like, I have a work dinner and I really want to have a drink, have a vodka seltzer, have a tequila seltzer with lime, that kind of thing. And then if there's something you're drinking that you really like, let us know. We'll look at it and see. There's, again, alcoholic drinks right now. There's so many out there now that are coming out. So let's look at the ingredients and see what's in there if you have something you really enjoy. And then in week 2 and 3 and 4, and we start to bring things back in. Week 3 into week 4 is where we're going to live in clean cut world. We're going to bring carbs back in. We're going to bring balancing back in. You're going to see how you feel when you start adding foods back in. So we may take gluten out for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. And you add it back in and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that's what was making me bloated. Or you have all different kinds of beans and all of a sudden you add a black bean back in and you're like, whoa, that did not agree with me. Like now you wouldn't know that unless we took some things out and now we're slowly adding some of your favorites back in. So we're going to look at how food works in your body, what keeps you full and what doesn't keep you full. So a good example, Karen can't eat yogurt. She eats yogurt and she just wants to keep eating crumb cake and sugar and everything else. Like that's just how her body reacts to it. That's where her mind goes. I can eat yogurt and I'm totally fine. So you may get that aha moment. You're like, oh, okay, if I have a bar, an hour later, I'm starving. That bar is not going to work for you. So we're going to go through that and we're going to see what works in your body. And again, what works in Michelle's body may not work in my body. And then by the end of 6 weeks, you're going to sort of have a really good menu guide of what works for you and what recipes you like. And then we practice it and we practice and practice and practice. And you're going to fall off here and there, but you have the tools to get back on. And it's the awareness of stopping falling off and letting the wheels totally fall off. And maybe you just get a low flat tire and you're like right back there. Right. So once we hit goal weight or goal, I don't always go by the scale. We don't always go by the scale. If you don't own a scale, don't go buy one. Okay. We're going to look at your measurements. We're going to look at how your clothes fit. We're going to look at how you're sleeping, how your skin feels, how white your eyes are, how shiny your hair is. Okay. Those are all aha moments. We call them NSV, non-scale victories. Okay. They're not like, who cares what the scale says? Right. Because the scale fluctuates hourly. You can use it as a guide, but I'd rather you look at, again, your belt loops, your watch. We had somebody say she was talking one day and her ring flew off. Right. And like, that's a non-scale win to me because now her ring, she never could got her ring off before. Right. So her bloat is down. She's lost some weight. So I want you guys to look at that kind of stuff because that's long-term success. Okay. So just start to, and it's going to be hard for some of you. It's hard for most people. We have somebody in our accountability group that we made her give the scale to her friend and take it out of her house because she just couldn't stop getting on it. And for about 3 days, she was uncomfortable. And then she's like, I'm good. I don't even need the scale anymore. So there are some habits that you might not even realize you have, or habits that have nothing to do with food you're eating, but are other habits that are unhealthy. So in the end, you're going to just sort of maybe find a lot of things about yourself that you didn't even realize were happening to better yourself. So who has questions? Anybody have any questions? We have about, I think there's close to 30 people in the group. I know there's only a few of you on right now, but we'll post this recording up. And we should be getting hopefully some more in before we start on Monday. But if you don't have any questions, we'll let you guys go. But please feel free to ask anything. Again, no question is stupid. I will be posting up week 1 tomorrow. So all of your week 1 stuff will be posted tomorrow morning. I'll get that up, and I always send an email. So as soon as something new is in your portal, I'll send an email so you know. Hey, week 1 is up and live. Any questions, let us know. Everyone's on the Facebook board, right? Okay, good. Any questions on there, please post them up. Again, don't feel like you're bothering us. This is our job. This is why you're here. For the next 6 weeks and beyond, we're going to be buddies. We're going to get to know each other. And as I said, the more the more we chit chat, the more we get to know you guys, the more we can help. So you may have a question in an hour going through something and just post it up. And we're happy to answer them. So sort of think about what's in your house right now that are your go-tos now that you really like. Look at those labels. Be like, what if I can still have this? Or you may open up your cabinet and be like, okay, bye. I'm going to throw that stuff away. And again, as Michelle said, don't feel like pizza's never coming back, because I promise you it'll always be there. And there's always room for pizza. There's always room for ice cream. There's going to be room for yummy fruit this spring and summer. We're just going to teach you how to do it around everything else.
And as far as the questions, I mean, really try your best, because I think that I still probably hold the record of the person that's asked like the most questions in, the history of the 6-week challenges. So I love them. So post them up, and you can post as many times a day as you want. And as you're going through, if you need that accountability to post, like, what it is that you're eating, like that's our conversation. Like that's our community. That's how we support each other. Go ahead and do that. Yeah. And it's fun.
And another good thing you could do too is journal, but I don't need to know like how many calories you ate, how much fat you ate. I want you to look at what you ate and how it made you feel. Right? Did this meal keep me full for 3 hours? And I didn't even realize I was hungry until later. Did this meal give me gas? Did this meal make me feel good or feel bad? How much water you're drinking. So I want you to sort of journal, but in a different way. Almost, think about how it's making you feel versus what you're putting in. And in week 1, I'll post that up tomorrow morning, or if I can get to it later tonight, where you're going to have a serving size guide. Super easy. We're very, very, very visual. So a lot of things are going to be visual, because if I asked you to go to MyFitnessPal and put every single thing you put in your body all day long, most of you are going to do it for 3 days and be like, screw this. This is like too time consuming. It's a pain in the ass, right? I want you to look at your serving sizes, right? I want you to know that 1 cup, take this with you, 1 cup of cooked pasta is a serving. 1 cup. Who really eats 1 cup of cooked pasta in the United States as a serving, right? So I want you to think about that, right? I want you to think about, that 6 to 8 ounces of a chicken breast. Like those are an easy one, right? But I want you to look at veggies are unlimited, guys. Unless they're fried up, deep fried from some bar food somewhere, they're unlimited. The veggie soup is a really good go-to. That is going to be one of the staples. You can have veggie soup unlimited. You can have it hot. You can have it cold. You can have it blended. You can eat that all day long. If you're feeling noshy during the day, like especially in the first couple days, right? You're feeling noshy, have some soup. And you can put whatever veggies you want in there. Okay, so that's always a good one to go to. Again, any questions, just reach out.
And if you're sitting there thinking, all right, these ladies have told me that I don't have to count anything and I don't have to measure anything outside of what I can see visually or looking at my hand, and I can have alcohol and I can have a burger with the bun. And I don't have to buy any extra products. I don't have to buy clean cut bars or clean cut protein powder. Those don't exist. We don't make them. And you're sitting there like, they are completely and utterly full of shit. This is not going to work. Know that that is exactly how I felt during my intro Zoom call, and it works. So trust the process. You're going to do great. You're going to love it. And really excited to have you guys board.
Oh, one last thing that I forgot about. In the portal, I'm also going to post up, there is an option for weights and measurements. That is completely optional. You're welcome to put your weights in to track it. You will get an email with that. If you don't want to put your weight in, don't, but there is a measurement tracker there. So there will be a video of Karen and I showing you how to do your measurements and a chart you can print out. And it's, you know, measuring your bust, your waist, your hips, that kind of thing. Keep that for you if you want to do that. I love that because someone will say, okay, the first 2 weeks I lost 7 pounds and then I lost the last 4 weeks, another 3 pounds, but I am down total of 15 inches. How is that possible? Right? So our body works in mysterious, crazy ways with the scale. Okay. Especially if you're building muscle weighs more than fat. There's a whole lot of factors going on there, right? I love inches. I love you going down a size. I love your belt loop going down. I love your watch band going down.
If you choose to put your measurements or your weight in that form that's in the portal, the only people that can see that are Lori and Karen. So Dina and I can't even see those. So it's truly confidential. We never post those. No. Those never get shared. So it's truly a safe space if you want that. If you want that tracking for yourself, which I highly encourage, especially like Lori said, the measurements. And then I would also highly encourage you to take a picture of yourself in an outfit that like either might be a little too tight or, you know, just something where you can see your progress. Because at the end of the 6 weeks, like it's going to be amazing how if you picked an outfit that was too tight, how much better you're going to feel in that outfit at the end of the 6 weeks. Or you can do it since swimsuit season's coming up. You can, you know, take a picture of yourself in a swimsuit. You don't have to post that anywhere. It can just be for you. But having that visual is really great because sometimes, you know, like Lori said, I'll step on the scale and it didn't move. And then I get pissed off. But then I look at myself in a picture and I'm like, oh my gosh, like my face is so much smaller. Like I see the angle of my cheeks, you know, like I have cheekbones again. Or wow, like look at my stomach from, you know, here to here and look at the curves. And oh goodness, like I lost another 1/4 of an inch in my upper arms. Like you're going to see that if you track that.
Yeah.
And if you do like the scale, which is fine, only weigh once a week. Because it is mentally battling and discouraging if you are stepping on that scale every day. And like Lori said, our bodies are mysterious depending on your hormone cycle, your water retention, the amount of sodium that you had the previous day. You are setting yourself up for failure if you're stepping on that scale every morning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's discouraging. So, you know, as I said, we put those measurements with the scale in there because that's what a lot of people like to do. It's optional and you do not have to do it. So we'll leave that to you guys. And I think that's all. So does anybody have a goal like in 6 weeks or anything? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a number, but does anybody have, if anybody is like, you know, I'm going to a wedding or I just want to feel better. I want to like be able to take a minute off my run time, or it could be anything. Post it up. Let us know. Because we like to always like check in with you guys and see how you're doing. So we'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for spending this time with us. And we're really looking forward to getting to know you guys more and working with you. And we will be talking to you very soon. All right, guys, have a great night.
See you guys.